What's up, cousins? Welcome back to Tommy Makes TV and Homestead. Thank y'all for coming in today. So as you enter, please hit that like button. If you're watching on the replay, welcome in. Please hit that like button. It does help get the video out to more people. You see the title. By the time most people who aren't paying attention realize it, it'll probably be too late for them to go and get themselves together. Okay. So let's get into the story, and I'm going to show you, well, we're going to talk about the multiple ways that this war is taking place, almost like a secret war for those who aren't paying attention. But for those of us who are, if you're here in the chat, if you're watching on the replay, then you already know. You clicked on because you know things are going on behind the scenes and nothing changes. An election year makes it even that more worse. Welcome in, Big Moose. How are you doing? Let me go ahead and share. Trying to put it where y'all can see it. So what are they talking about? China is unleashing warfare on the West in a daring bid to create a terrifying new age led by Xi Jinping, and time is running out to wake up to it, says the former British diplomat. So he's warning that the West is asleep. We sleeping. Some of us are sleeping. Okay. The communist regime is combining its economic, military, and political power to bamboozle the world's democracies, which have become over-reliant on China for basic goods. That's one way China is winning. When I say in the title, China is winning, because the U.S. and many other countries depend so much on the goods that come from China. So you see, you're talking about cyber attacks are one of the other ways China is unleashing their warfare on the U.S. and other countries. China has showed off military might while it wages economic and political battle. Beijing is making moves with the West barely noticing. According to Matthew Henderson, a geostrategy researcher who worked for the Foreign Office as a diplomat for 3 decades, he says that one key way Xi is pursuing his goal of global dominance is for the Chinese Communist Party to leverage how dependent the West has become on its supply of goods. If they shut the West off, what would happen? Panic and chaos, in my opinion. Cyber attacks, political influence, military expansion, bribery, and corruption are other weapons being deployed out of Beijing. He says, as well as deepening alliances with Russia, Iran, and North Korea. If you don't know, visits have been happening, okay, with all of these places. He said the West was reluctant to acknowledge President Xi Jinping insidious progress because of the conflicts already raging in Ukraine and the Middle East. But he branded this approach completely stupid. Henderson told The Sun, it's not a question of opening up another front. It's a question of admitting that we've been at war without really thinking it or wanting to believe it for a very long time. The challenge for the West, because of how democracy works, is that its economic, military, and political strategies are fragmented, whereas China's are merged into one in pursuit of one national goal: to take over world order. Sounds almost like an insane cartoon, but this is reality. Henderson also said that We've seen clearly that Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping are always exchanging this phrase. You're going to see global changes that haven't happened in 100 years. Let me know how y'all feel about that. Do you believe it? I mean, right now you should believe that we are very dependent upon China for almost everything. He says, and we, the Chinese and the Russians, are going to see those changes through together. They're teaming up. So, superpowers teaming up against the United States. Insane. Who would have thunk it? And that basically means unseating the United States as the leader of the rules-based international order. Yeah, excuse me. Henderson is also saying that the West desperately needs to wake up to the dangers of cheaper Chinese goods like phone company and instead endure short-term pain to stop heading down the path of CCP control. The reason about the phone company HUAWEI, I'm not even going to try to mess it up, is cheap, is because it's a state-run operation that's very heavily subsidized. I can't read today. Subsidized precisely with the view of undercutting our own digital market and making sure everyone buys equipment that the Chinese can use to collect intelligence on us. So it sounds like he is saying that this service that they are using, they're using it against us. Okay, but the UK vowed to remove the telecom from 5G infrastructure by 2027 after the US slapped sanctions on the company, slamming it as a security risk. They're saying that everything is a security risk right now, just like they say TikTok is a security risk, but we're using so many things that come from China. We're using equipment, even on these ports, the parts and all of that stuff come from China. So they could put intelligence in these things and keep track of way more than we know. And they could stop many things, just like at that port where I think it was the crane or whatever they used to take the containers off of the ships stopped working. They could not figure out why it stopped working. And rumbles and rumors were that that part came from China and that China was behind that. So they're saying, using the example of solar panels, he said China effectively stole know-how from the West to start producing them for far cheaper, allowing it to take over the entire market. And that's what's happening. You have these companies here that shut down or move the bulk of their company overseas for workers to work under the wage, get these products out, sell it for cheap for us, and then more companies here in the United States close because they cannot compete with the prices. He says that what the Chinese did was that they lured a lot of these US and EU companies to set up manufacturing plants in China because a lot of these plants are cheaper. They're subsidized. The technology was transferred into the Chinese tech ecosystem. And then the Chinese government subsidized Chinese companies to sell solar panels to the rest of the world at prices around 80% beneath the market price. So obviously the Western companies then went out of business, and that allowed China to dominate supply chain. And y'all, they're still dominating the supply chain. I'm not going to go over all of that. He also said that concerns were now mounting that China is eyeing a host of other technologies to take over, making the West rely on them even more. Henson said the West desperately needed political willpower to put an end to business with China, even if it means foregoing cheaper goods. He said, we've simply got to say, it's China, a different place. When you opened your factories in China or R&D, research and development, in Shanghai, you may well have had a case at that stage to think it's a good move. Well, now it's not, and you need to think hard about it. I don't think these companies will think hard about bringing their business back to America, not as long as we still are ordering up everything that we know is coming from China. We may say, oh gosh, we need to buy American, but with the way prices are right now, people are looking for cheaper things. And this is how China is also winning. So he says we need people in public not just saying China is a threat, and we need to think twice about buying a Chinese electric vehicle, but we're now facing a greater threat than ever since the Cold War. Finding alternative partners has to be the way forward. Another way, on a different article, another way that China is changing things up for not just the US, but for international things that are happening is they recently stopped all adoptions that have been going on since 1972. Let me see if I can find that article. Why all of a sudden I can't see? Here we go. Okay. China is in control of things. Who's in control of the US right this minute? Does anybody have an answer to that? Who is running the United States effectively? So here's the story right here. It says China will no longer send children overseas for adoption. The government said overturning a more than 3-decade rule that was rooted in its one strict one-child policy. Remember, China had that one-child policy. Can you imagine if they could oversee that and had that policy here in the United States? That would be insane. More than 160,000 Chinese children have been adopted by families across the world since 1992, when China first opened its doors to international adoption. Around 82,000 of those children, mostly girls, have been adopted in the United States. On Thursday, this past Thursday, the foreign minister said the Chinese government had adjusted its cross-border adoption policy to be in line with international trends. A part of the adoption of a child or a stepchild of a blood relative of the same generation who are within 3 generations of foreigners coming to China to adopt. China will not send children abroad for adoptions. They say they express their appreciation to those foreign governments and families who wish to adopt Chinese children for their good intention and the love and kindness they have shown. But y'all ain't getting no more our kids. Y'all can't have them. They don't say that in there. I'm just adding that. It says it was not immediately clear what the families who are already in the process of adopting, if they will be affected or not. But when I read the article, oh, they affected. The rule change comes at Chinese policymakers struggle, like I'm struggling right now because of my allergies, to read, to encourage young couples to get married and have children after the population fell for 2 consecutive years. So they've bumped up the one child. Now I think they can have 3. Let's see. China has one of the lowest birth rates globally and has been trying to incentivize young women to have children. Many, however, have been put off by the high cost of childcare, worries over job security, and their future outlook as growth in the world's second largest economy. China implemented a rigorous one-child policy from 1979 all the way up to 2015. I can't even imagine. To reduce its population. When families were restricted to having only one child, many opted to keep their male children who are traditionally expected to be the main caregivers for their families and give up females for adoptions. That's why so many girls than boys. And then most of the girls, most of the adoptions, they say, were children who had some, problems. So China's move to halt international adoptions comes after the Netherlands in May banned its citizens from adopting children from foreign countries. In Denmark, people will no longer be able to adopt children from abroad after the only adoption agency said it was stopping operations. So that's another way China's taken away, families' ability to have families, people's abilities to have families. So y'all can let me know what y'all think. Do you think China is winning this war? Because I do, when it comes to these goods. Hey, welcome in. Just wanted to do a quick live before I get out here and start doing my Uber Eats. I'm starting late. I had to go pick my husband up. Hey, Big Moose. Hey, Judy. Hey, Samantha. Hey, The Hobbit. Lydia. Yep. We better pay attention. A lot of people are not. I just put a video up yesterday showing you how you can get more for less, and that video didn't even get pushed in the algorithm. Like I told my husband today, some of the videos that I'm thinking about doing, showing you the stores, and yeah, things look like they, are okay in the stores because you see food and stuff in the stores, but these stores are worried. They are worried. These stores are stockpiling. They're stockpiling food. They're stockpiling non-food items because they see what's happening in the Red Sea. They see what's happening with the war with the Houthis and the ships that are being attacked. And let me see. I recorded. Where's this video? I recorded a video today. And it ain't good, because what they're looking at is all the ships that are being attacked by the Houthis. If they continue and if they happen to hit cargo container ships that are carrying our supplies as far as food that we need, we're going to be in a world of trouble. We're going to be back to them empty shelves. So stores are stocking up. So let me show you this. What's happened? Because I didn't even see this on the news. But they attacked a oil tanker or something. And this ship has been burning for days now. And this is what these companies are worried about. They're worried about if that happens, if that attack happens, that's going to affect them. And then ships have to be rerouted, which is going to take days, if not months, to come in. So that's why they are stockpiling as much as they can, over ordering in hopes that if a shipment stops, they'll still have something to put on the shelf, because they don't want you to worry about these items being on the shelf. Now, mind you, the prices need to be a lot better. But can you imagine what the prices will be if the shelves start to look empty? Price gouging.
A U.S. defense official tells CNN it is still burning in the Red Sea after being attacked on August 21st. The tanker is carrying 1 million barrels of crude oil, and Pentagon officials warn of an environmental catastrophe. While the fires have not yet reached the barrels, U.S. officials say the vessel appears to be leaking either fuel or engine oil into the busy waterway. The 25-person crew was rescued following the attack, but attempts to salvage the tanker have so far been unsuccessful. The Houthis' attack on the Sunyan is part of a months-long campaign against commercial ships along this route. The Iran-backed militants say it's in response to the Israeli offensive in Gaza.
So y'all, stock up, okay? Whether you look at my videos or don't look at them, stock up your home. Make sure you're good. Make sure you're good, because I got to get back to seriously stocking up. I have a lot, so I kind of slacked up a little bit. But my husband's like, we got to get started back with getting more items because we running low. Okay. So y'all take care. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Judy, Lori. I appreciate all of y'all. Hey, Grown with Hudson, welcome in. Y'all, please hit the like button before you leave, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I don't know if it might be another video today. Who knows? So turn your notifications on. Thanks for supporting the channel. Welcome to all of the new subscribers, and welcome back to all of the returning subscribers. Love you. I appreciate you, but God truly loves you more. He created only one you. Be the very best you that you can be when you are. Go out and spread God's love. Peace, love, and light. Thanks for being here on Talking About CV and Homestead. I'll call you.